So we are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Now, Nicki Minaj and Sza, obviously we know they got into it because Nicki Minaj was dissing Fruit Punch, TDE, and also Doechii. Okay, she called out the fact that, allegedly Doechii lost 30 million monthly listeners on Paolify. Some fans are saying it was a glitch, that she really didn't lose 30 million. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention. But, Nicki Minaj called out the payola, and, she dragged Sza and TDE because Sza decided to stick up for, her TDE family. But allegedly, Doechii is coming for Nicki Minaj. She been waiting on Nicki. Okay? Doechii will be airing out Nicki Minaj, and she does have a diss record in the stash for Nicki. Okay? Because you're coming after the TDE family. My whole thing is, Megan already got a record coming out against Nicki Minaj. I'm sure Cardi B will be dissing Nicki Minaj too. Nicki Minaj gonna have a lot of people dissing her in their music. I know some of y'all saying, oh, Nicki doesn't need to respond, but I think Nicki Minaj definitely got to respond. Okay, the tweets are great, entertaining, you laugh, you get a key. I was laughing all day when she was going off because it was funny. But with that being said, we got to get into the booth, and I think if Doechii drop her diss track, and it's probably going to be on her album, her debut album, I do think Nicki Minaj needs to respond, and, the response got to be lethal. But it's like, what can she really say about Doechii, though? I mean, Doechii's talented. I mean, I don't know if she considers Doechii to be ugly, because I think if she says Doechii's ugly, then people would call Nicki Minaj a colorist if she says Doechii is ugly. But beauty is subjective. You know what I'm saying? But she's called Cardi B ugly, and Cardi B ain't dark skin. Okay? So, with that being said, I do feel as though she does need to respond when the diss tracks come out, only because this is rap. This is hip-hop. Okay? Now, just don't make it too lethal. Make it lethal enough, but don't make it too lethal, because there's certain rappers that like to take things to court when they lose a rap battle or it doesn't go their way. I.e. Cardi B. She threatened Bia and said that she was going to sue Bia because Bia revealed that she was cheating on Off the Cheat, which turned out to be true. And then we know Champagne Thickums is currently in a lawsuit with Universal over Not Like Us. So with that being said, you can't make it too lethal, because there's certain female rappers, the queen and king of surgery, they do like to sue. And I do feel as though I wouldn't be shocked if Megan would take Nicki Minaj to court. I think she would. Doechii, I think Doechii would not. I don't see Doechii taking Nicki to court. But Megan Thee Stallion, I can see her playing the lawyer game. Okay? The court game. Okay? So, make it lethal, but not too lethal. Now, speaking of Cardi B, Sza and Cardi B already have a collaboration coming out on Cardi B's album. Okay? Now, with that being said, yesterday it was revealed by TDE Fruit Punch that Nicki Minaj got rejected by Sza, and that Sza said no to a collaboration, or that she was in album mode. I don't know if I fully believe that story. I got the real tea on Patreon about that. But the point of the matter is, some fans believe that the reason why Nicki Minaj is coming after Sza is because she got a collaboration with Cardi B. So that's what some fans are saying on social media. I don't think Nicki Minaj cares. It's Sza, not Michael Jackson. It's not Beyonce. It's not Eminem. I really don't think, in my opinion, Nicki Minaj cares. I mean, didn't she collaborate with Kanye West, and that collaboration flopped? But low-key, she never fucked with Kanye again. Remember, he tried to release New Body, and she was like, nah, okay? But let me know in the comments if you guys would be here for Sza and Cardi B's collaboration. Now, Megan Thee Stallion is getting exposed, or technically her boyfriend is getting exposed, because it has been reported that allegedly Klay Thompson is cool or had a relationship with Short Leprechaun Lane's Tory. Okay? And now he's dating Megan. Unfortunately, AB, an ex-football player, his name is Antonio Brown. He said that it be your own friends. So a lot of people are saying that, Megan, she messing around with the same group of men, or that she messing with people's homeboys or friends. And people are also calling out Klay Thompson. I don't think Megan knew that Klay was friends with Tory, though. He probably did not tell her that information. Okay? Because I bet you if he said, oh, I used to be cool with Tory, she probably would have never given him the time of day. I don't think she knows that information. Okay? So you really can't blame Megan. But I think Klay Thompson, I think he has a history. He has a roster he likes to get around. So I don't expect Klay and Megan to make it by next year. By next year, they'll be done. No shade. Now, Megan Thee Stallion shouts out her boyfriend, Klay Thompson. And she said to Page 6, I have never dated somebody so kind. This is my first relationship where I've been with somebody who genuinely is a nice person. And he makes me genuinely happy. I'm grateful that he's here by my side and he feels the same way about me. Okay? So they came out publicly, did the red carpet event. And then she also shouted out Desiree.
I want to give a round of applause to Desiree.
See, I don't think that was a coinkydink. I don't think that was a coincidence. I think she's shouting out Desiree because Nicki keeps bringing her up. Okay? You wasn't shouting out Desiree like that before. No, she was not. Stop, thotties. Stop with the lies. She wasn't shouting her out like that. Megan has had several events and never, ever shouted out Desiree. But you know why she's doing that? Because Nicki Minaj keeps talking about her. Okay? Now, it looks like Nicki Minaj continues to drag Sza and Desiree. She said, good morning to everyone except Desiree Perez, CEO of Devil Nation. She's being accused by her daughter in a lawsuit where she allegedly put listening devices and cameras in an adult daughter's room. She allegedly lied that her daughter was on drugs, that her son-in-law was a woman beater to put him in jail and put her in a mental facility. She alleged to have called her black son-in-law the N-word while beating on her daughter. She was pardoned by Trump a few years ago on an unrelated charges. Thank you for your cooperation to this matter. Her daughter Twitter is, we don't care. Her daughter is on a gag order, so she can't do any more interviews, but you can still check out the one she did on YouTube. Nicki is messy. Very, very, very messy. Oh my goodness. And then she continues to drag Sza because Sza basically was commenting under Instagram pages. She commented under a blog that said Nicki Minaj exposes Sza's past comments about Rihanna, Queen Bee, Ciara in an ongoing Twitter war. Sza said exposes LMFAO. These are 15 years old and have been posted many times. Yes, they have, Sza. Okay? But you kind of fake. No shade. Because you worked with Rihanna and Beyonce. There's no reason to work with Ciara. But you've worked with Rihanna and Beyonce, but you was dragging them on social media. That's fake. But I've always said, and y'all know this, I've always called Sza the Lion Scorpio. I always called her the Lion Scorpio. I've always said she was fake. I love her music, but she's always been a flip-floppy ass bitch. Then Nicki called around and said, well, it looks like Mizza took the bait. Silly goose. Wasn't she warning about retrograde? Now she been up all day on IG leaving comments under people's blogs. I'm hollering. Y'all, I'm hollering. So it looks like she's still on Sza's neck. Will this beef ever end? Let me know. if y'all think that Sza and Nicki Minaj can make amends. Now, moving on from that, a lot of fans are worried that Act 3 is scrapped because, as we know, unfortunately, Queen B got robbed. You know, her music was stolen out of one of her SUVs that, you know, was really for the dancers, and somebody took all of her music. I think she got snakes in the camp. But with that being said, fans believe that Act 3 is scrapped, okay, and that Queen B got to start all over. Here's the thing, I wouldn't mind if Act 3 would be scrapped and she did start all over, because some of the songs on Cowboy Carter were old. She even admitted that I think she wrote, was it Texas Boredom or one of the songs in 2016, okay? So I'm okay with, you know, her scrapping it and doing a whole new album. The only thing I ask, bitch, please do not put Camel Face on no songs. I see you bringing him out on tour. We need to leave Camel Face in the closet, okay? He doesn't even help you in any way, shape, or form when it comes to your career now. Now, I know in the beginning of your career he helped you, but I feel like he's a dark cloud over your career now. People do not like Camel Face. It just makes you look bad, to be quite honest, to have him around. And he about 65 years old. I don't know why he walking all slow on the stage like somebody really want to see him. Like, stop. Okay? Perform your verse for Crazy in Love and Drunk in Love and head to stage left. Okay? Like, I don't understand why he trying to pop out because Queen B doing stadiums. It seems as though he think he can do his own stadium tour, or he trying to mooch off of Queen B. He trying to perform at the Super Bowl. We don't care. I need her to keep him off the stage and keep him off the music. Thank you. Now, unfortunately, Justin Bieber was sabotaged by Travis Festival killer Scott. The Jack Boys, Travis, and his payola will be taking the number one spot, unfortunately, and he will be doing $253,000 first week, okay? Justin will only be doing $165,000. Now, it was reported that the only reason why Travis is doing $253,000 is because he is selling merch, okay? And, you know, with that being said, merch does, unfortunately, count towards the charts again. I thought they got rid of that rule, but you know they bend the rules for people that they like. See, they bend it for Travis, you know, Cardi B, right? But, you know, if Nicki Minaj did that, you know, they would say, oh, no, 200,000 sales taken away. You know, they bend the rules for the people they like. But allegedly, you know, Travis did 60,000 first week and 188,000 in merch, okay? So unfortunately, Travis Festival killer Scott got to receive 100,000 lashings. It's unacceptable for you to be able to use merch to sell music. Like, that don't even make no logical sense. And then Justin, you know, I should really give you lashings too. I like your album a little bit. You know, I gave it a 5 or 7, originally a -3, but then I went back and listened. You know, it's okay. But 165,000 after a 4-year hiatus, I don't know about that. I don't know. That's not a good look. I don't know. I'm sorry. 4-year hiatus. And I understand you didn't have vinyls and you didn't have physicals, but there's a lot of artists that don't have physical or vinyls and sell more. Okay? And I hate to compare apples to oranges, but Kung Fu Kenny didn't have vinyls or physicals when he dropped GNX. He did 319. And you can say, oh, it's because of Not Like Us, but Not Like Us wasn't on the album. And it's Diamond. And he didn't put it on the album and it's Diamond. So, Justin, I hate to do this to you because I know you're going through it already. But, Justin, I'm going to have to give you 50,000 lashes. You're supposed to at least do 2. You had a 4 or 5 year hiatus. This ain't good. Nicki Minaj did 228,000. She blackballed. So, I like Justin, but this is not a good look. I'm sorry. And you didn't even go number 1. You let Travis beat you. Now, TDE Fruit Punch, please come to the front of the congregation. Now he trying to backtrack after shading Nicki Minaj back in 2012. You know, he said Nicki projected to do 225 first week. Yikes. And then he now trying to say in 2012, I thought 225 was a great number. No. No, don't try to backtrack. Okay? You could have worded it differently if you felt like that. You was low-key trying to say Nicki was flopping. Okay? I mean, can anybody on TDE stand on business, or is it just Kung Fu Kenny? You know, SZA now trying to backtrack. TDE, Fruit Punch trying to backtrack. Can y'all stand on business? If you shade somebody, stand on it. Okay? I don't like when people shade and then, you know, throw the rock and try to hide their hand. I don't respect that. Okay, TDE Fruit Punch, you're going to have to receive 50,000 lashes, okay? Because why didn't you clear this up sooner? That tweet from 2012, and you could have said, even after you tweeted that, which was what? How many years ago? You could have said, oh, you know, I wasn't shading Nicki. You knew what you was doing, okay? Stop it. 50,000 lashes. Now, in hindsight, you know, 225 is not a flop. But I think back then, when numbers, this was before streaming. So 225 for an A-list artist now is great. But back then, that would be deemed a little bit low because at the end of the day, back then, a lot of artists were doing like 300, 400, 500 when people were buying records. You're not doing that no more except the Chart Obsessed Racist. She can do it with her payola. I don't think her numbers are organic though. Now, moving on from that, it looks like SZA has officially clapped back at Nicki Minaj, okay? She responded to a Nicki Minaj post where Nicki said, "These be the fake girls who talk ish but will run you down for a photo or do ish like this on camera to pretend they are not the hater they really are." I wonder what she was lying about to the interviewer. Man, it's so freeing to really be yourself. Justice for D-More, okay? And this a video of basically SZA running down on Rihanna at one of the Met Galas years ago, even though she already had been exposed for basically talking shit about Rihanna and saying how Rihanna can't sing. But yet you wrote a song for Rihanna, okay? She can't sing, but you wrote a song for her and was trying to work with her. Okay, and I understand you wanted a coin, but the point of the matter is, you know, so that is fake. You know what I'm saying? No shade. That's why, you know, I respect Beyonce, because Beyonce don't pretend to like Rihanna. You know, she might take pictures or whatever, but she never worked with that hoe. She never praised Rihanna like that ever. Okay? You never hear her publicly praise Rihanna. She do not like that girl. So that's one thing about Beyonce. She not as fake as people think she is. She's strategic, but SZA is a Scorpio and she's a liar. No shade. And then SZA posted some text messages. She wanted to be Scratch Off Jr. She posted some text messages and said, "You absolutely know my music and what I contribute because you've asked for features twice to no response. In addition to rapping my lyrics, to feeling myself, cooking up the bass, looking like a kilo." She's saying she wrote that bar. "You're having a moment and I'm not sure why, but be blessed." And she posted text message of Nicki basically asking for a collaboration and, you know, TDE responding that Nicki can send the song over, but they never did the song. And I think that was intentional. Now, fans are also saying that Nicki Minaj was trying to copy Cardi B because Cardi B and SZA did a song on Invasions of the Payola called I Do, and the song Nicki Minaj allegedly wants SZA to hop on was called Don't Do. So fans are also saying that she was, again, jealous of Cardi B and wanted that SZA collaboration. Now, TDE Fruit Punch was going back and forth with Wackademics. And with that being said, TDE Fruit Punch accused Wackademics of allowing Champagne Thickums to post negative comments about like SZA and other people that, you know, Champagne Thickums don't like on one of his blog pages, because he got a few on, I think, X. He got a few blog pages on X that he will have, you know, somebody post negative captions about certain artists that Champagne Thickums don't like. Now, here's the thing with Wackademics. Wackademics got to be in his 30s by now. He a little bit too old to be getting used by Champagne Thickums. I don't really believe that Champagne Thickums is writing negative captions on blogs, but I do feel like Champagne Thickums uses Wacademics. You know, they had the whole streamer community at Wireless Fest, and Wacademics wasn't there. Okay, because he wasn't invited. But you invited Doodle Garbage, Aiden Ross, and they're all cool with Wacademics. Why nobody invited Wacademics to Wireless Fest? Everybody else was there except his ass. His fat ass was on a boat with some cheeseburgers and a bunch of women with low self-esteem. And that lets me know that Champagne Thickums don't really mess with Wacademics like that. Because I'm thinking, you invited all them damn streamers to Wireless Fest, but not Wacademics, and he rides for you? So, Champagne Thickums, who is a Scorpio, is a user too. He just likes Sza. That's why they dated. I see a lot of barbs that ride for Champagne Thickums, and he don't even like Nicki. It's amazing how Champagne Thickums can use all of y'all, and nobody sees it. He uses people just like Camel Face, but because he pretends like he's cool with Nicki, he don't really mess with that girl like that. Okay? But he pretends that he's cool with Nicki. Y'all don't drag him for it. But he just likes Sza. They both Scorpios and they both be lying. Because he always do the people that ride for him, you know, whether it's Wayne, Nicki, academics, anybody that ride for him, he usually do them dirty. And that's just the honest truth. But anyway, I got some very hot tea on Patreon. Link will be in the description. Have a great day.